a record of 5 times. They'll be going into action without the services of one of their greatest. Neymar undergoes surgery. The Brazilian talisman Neymar, who was stretched over the pitch during their 2-0 defeat by Uruguay. Of course, that match was decided on Tuesday. There is a situation that he will be undergoing a knee surgery after he was diagnosed to have ruptured his internal coracoid ligament, and that will keep him out because it affects his muscle. He will not be in action, and he is complaining and lamenting. It is a very sad moment, the worst of my life, Neymar wrote on his Instagram. I know I am strong, but this time I'm going to need my family, friends, and even more of them. Neymar is not a happy man. Although it is unclear how long Neymar will be out for, but it will be a period you truly want to talk about such a great player not being in action. And there are reports that he could stay out of action from 8 up to 10 months, just as you rightly heard from my man, Matthias, which rules him out of the season. Brazil all-time top scorer who moved to Saudi Arabia summer, talking about the Paris Saint-Germain where he was. He has struggled with injury in recent years. He will miss 2 World Cup games in Qatar last year after he was injured in Brazil opener game against Serbia. Neymar had also been sidelined for multiple months of his last 2 seasons with Paris Saint-Germain because of different ankle injury. And finally, of course, it's a bad one for this player. We hope that Neymar bounces back in good shape to see him. The campaign against France was cut short in February, but knee injury. He's still lamenting it is not easy to go through this injury and surgery. Imagine going through it all again after 4 months of recovery. He added, of course, it's not a good one. 10 months were like almost 2 seasons in football. And Neymar, what will be happening to Neymar's countryside? Brazil struggling to qualify, PSG needing his services as they progress into the UEFA Championship. Can we have a possible replacement for Neymar, the club side, as well as the national side?
Neymar, who recently moved to Saudi, to Al Hilal, and he's just played. He had he struggled. His team has struggled in the Saudi league. They have not been winning matches, and so it was a tough start to life at Saudi Arabia. And now this injury has come in again. It's going to be a tough one on his mental health. Like he rightly said, he will need his family, he will need his friends, because he's coming. This is what we've seen at the twilight of his career. He's coming to the end of his career, and it's quite unfortunate that a good player have to struggle at the end of his career in such a manner. But I believe it's going to be a huge blow for the Brazilians. Like I said, 10 months, you are looking into Copa America next year. Will he play? Will he not play? He's going to be in doubt. So 10 months is really a long time.
As well as the qualifiers for the FIFA World Cup.
Yeah, as well as the qualifiers for the FIFA World Cup. The Brazilians, they have a good side. They are, like I said, they have young guys like Rodrigo and Vinicius. They have good players. They can manage to win matches without Neymar, of course. But it's going to be a huge one, not having your top scorer, your all-time top scorer in your side. So definitely it's going to be a huge blow for the Brazilians. But I trust they have a good team. They can manage without him. But I pity for the player mostly because he has this like a series of injuries after injuries after injuries. So yes, he's going to come back stronger. Neymar is very tough mentally, and I wish the best for him. But for Al Hilal, I feel for them the most because he's their talisman. They just brought him into the side, and now they have to play without him. So let's see how it goes. But Brazil are going to cope better than Al Hilal.
Let's hope that Neymar bounces back in full force. That's our prayer for those of us who love the beautiful game of the man who started it all in Barcelona. Let's tell you the Hertha Belgium-Sweden Europe match will be replayed UEFA says the Belgium-Sweden 2024 qualifier that was halted following the fatal shootings of 2 Swedish fans will not be replayed, and the point will be shared. The UEFA made this known to sportsmen and women. The 2 countries' FA were not interested in a replay, and so the 1-1 result at the halftime when the match was stopped has been confirmed. Sometime when fans are denied the free flow of football, the club will have to face it. And now the club is having what we call just taking 1 point, because the organizers will not go back, and the fans are saying they need the game, but the players and organizers say no. As finals, each team will now be awarded a point each from the Group F, standing to the update. UEFA on Monday said 2 Swedish nationals were killed near the Brussels City Center in a suspected terror attack. The encounter went ahead as scheduled that evening before being abandoned at the request of the 2 teams at halftime. The scoreline was just 1 apiece. The traveling Swedish fans were kept in King Badu's stadium before being escorted by the police of that country to their hotel at 2 a.m. local time. The suspended attacked a total of a 45-year-old Tunisian national living illegally in Belgium and was fatally shot in the police operation on Tuesday. Sometime when they take laws into their hands and they deny us the free flow, but the organizers have said this time around the game will not be played. They will be sharing 1 point. Let's look at this decision. Has it gone down well with the fans? I know the fans will truly want to see a free flow of football, but the 2 teams have shown some sense of not willing to go back to the pitch.
Yeah, I can understand with them, because there's no need playing the match again, because Belgium, as you see, have already qualified from Group F. They don't really need that much, and Sweden, there's no way they're going to qualify from that group.
A maximum 3 points to Sweden, that would have given them a better chance. Not that they have only 1 point. Don't you think Sweden were actually looking for massive 3 points?
There was no way Sweden was going to qualify out of Group F.
No, but 3 points is a plus for them.
Yeah, 3 points would be a plus, but to what effect? It has no effect. You are not qualifying from the group.
No, the ranking. It would be on history that Sweden actually defeated Belgium, so they should have given them this 3 points, if you ask me. But it's like what we say, 2 fighting, and so when you intervene, you just put to rest. So let's hope that the 1-1 scoreline for the first half was what they took as a yardstick in sharing the point there, Matthias.
Yeah, I think the two FAs have come together and say, look, we are okay with the 1-1, with the draw. Take your 1 point, I take my 1 point, and we'll go our own way. And I think it's the scare. It's also something there's also a scare. You don't want to go back to that venue to play the match, and you see what's happening all over the world with Palestinian and Israeli war. So there's a little bit of scare in the world right now. So wherever there's scare, you don't want to put people in that situation again. So I think they are considering the life of people, and they don't want to play the match in such an atmosphere. So I think it's a rational decision. I think it's a decision I put the safety of the fans first before football, which is how it's supposed to be.
Safety of the fans first before football, a decision that has been taken, and both teams now have 1 point apiece and they're ongoing. Let's tell you that Juventus is also in the news this morning, but not too good. We are told that Juventus Nicolo Fagello has been sentenced to a total of 7-month ban. Matthias, 7 months is such a big blow to the side. Juventus, will they survive? Taking one of their star players for 7 months?
I think it's even a lenient ban.
You call 7 that?
It's a lenient ban. Ivan Toney of Brentford got a 1-year ban for betting, for breaking betting rules, and he's getting 7 months. What are you going to say about that?
No. Look at the circumstances, and the judge says he admitted he didn't give them extra work to start finding, to start investigating the process. When he was brought to book, he said yes, he did the act, and perhaps they had what we call having some mercy, showing some clemency there.
I think
Okay, let's tell you the story. The Juventus player has been given a total of 7-month ban, and my colleague here in the studio said the 7-month is not enough. We are told that the 22-year-old midfielder violated betting rules that prohibited players from betting on events organized by FIFA as well as UEFA. Figliolo was hit with a 12-month ban, of course, as you heard from my colleague, by the Italian Football Federation for breaching gambling regulations by betting on a number of illegal platforms. He will now be able to play for 7 months, while 5 months the suspension will be served by alternative means, including therapy. Maybe he will sit under the instruction of them just to put him lecture. The sections and public meeting. The Serie A side, they have vowed to stand by the 22-year-old and will help him fulfill the duties outlined in his punishment. He will then be welcomed back into the team once he's eligible again. The club is not turning his back against him. Juventus have made a strong statement. It looks like what we call here in Nigeria, this one our own, so we must keep close to him at all times. Rain of sunshine. Juventus has now released a statement concerning the issue. The club has noted with the official press release confirming that its full support to Nicolo Figliolo in tackling the path, providing the player with the necessary support in carrying out the indicated therapy. Now, the club, I want to see, they say, friend in all weathers. Now that the player has found himself in this situation, the club is saying that we are with you all the way.
Nicolo Figliolo is a young lad. He's just 22 years old. You are expected at that age to make mistakes and learn from them. I think that's the narrative the club is going with. So they want to say, okay, you made a mistake. You are young. You have a 12-month ban. You are not going to play for 7 months. The other 5 months, you are going to use it for therapy. Okay, go and learn. If you have an addiction to be, sometimes an addiction.
Yes,
you understand? So they are looking from that perspective. It's okay. You have this problem. You are going to go for therapy for 5 months. Come back, we'll support you. Don't worry. When you come back, you are entering into the side. So I think it's like a pat on the shoulder, like a child, a father to a child. You made a mistake, but we are not going to throw you away. We are still going to accept you back. So I think that gives the player confidence. That makes the player feel wanted, and I believe if he goes through this process, he's going to come back a changed man.
He's expected to come back a changed man. So sometime when one is sentenced to prison, is to learn a good lesson in the bitter way. Let's hope that when he bounces back in full action, he will give out his best and obey the rules and regulations. Talk Sport right here at Global TV. Nigeria capital city is the venue where we are coming your way live and direct. Let's take another break. When we come back, we'll tell you more what's happening in sport and perhaps the Nigeria Professional Football League. 10 matches will be decided this weekend. Where will your state be played? If you live in Abuja, then you have to travel and watch the game because the match will not be played in Abuja. Abuja has no professional football league in the ongoing Nigeria professional matches across the country. Let's take a break. There will be more when we come back. Matthias is here with me, and it's good for us because we are together, we can make it. Glad to welcome you back on the program Talk Sport right here in Nigeria's capital city, Abuja. This is Global TV, and of course, Matthias is here with me. We are looking at happenings in the world of sport. Let's tell you that Argentina's Sandro Tonali, of course, Aston Villa Nicola are also under investigation for what could be another crime against the free flow of the beautiful game of football. Let's take you straight to Napoli, where the boss has lamented on Victor Osimhen's injury absent. Napoleon manager Rudi Garcia has described the latest injury to Victor Osimhen as a big blow, of course, a big loss for the team. Osimhen sustained a tight injury during Nigeria 22 draw against Saudi Arabia, and one was not part of the team that defeated Mozambique. It is expected that he will be sidelined for some few weeks, and the club is already expressing sadness over the great Nigerian. The 24-year-old is expected to miss, of course, Serie A Champions League futures against Hellas and, of course, the game against AC Milan, as well as the UEFA Champions League clash against AC Milan. In his absence, Garcia confirmed that the club must find a solution, Bruce, a solution for a club where their greatest man, who was found in some controversy some weeks ago. Despite that controversy, Victor did not allow that to weigh him down. He kept banking the goals. But right now, on a national assignment for his father's land, Nigeria, he sustained an injury. And this injury will put him away for over some weeks. And this is a club that has almost made it known that it was time for Osimhen to go.
What can I? This situation, it has been a very rocky one for Napoli and for Osimhen himself. There has not been a brilliant start to the season for Napoli and for Osimhen. But yes, to lose your star man, who was the top scorer of your league last season, and who was in fine form last season, and who was pivotal to them winning the Scudetto.
He was.
We have not won for 30 years till he came. So it's going to be a massive blow for them. That's sure. But that is football. You have to have backup. I believe they have some good players there that can manage to the time he can come back to the squad. And for Osimhen, he's a guy who likes to compete. He's a player who is very competitive. Of course, he wants to be on the grass and keep things running, especially the situation that erupted where the club posted a cryptic message on social media and which he was not happy with. So right now, Osimhen would like to be on the pitch, but that is how football is. You can't control everything. So yes, so it's going to be a tough one for Napoli. It's going to be a tough one for Osimhen. But Osimhen is the kind of player I expect to come back stronger and to come back better. So I see it as a time to recover, to learn, and to rest for a little bit. You can't force yourself onto the pitch if you are not fully fit. So it's going to be.
Let's hope that those responsible who will ensure that Osimhen is back for action, perhaps not for his club but for his father's land, because few months away from now, Nigeria will be lining up for the quest to come home with the African Cup of Nations, in which they won the last time in faraway South Africa. Osimhen is not a happy man. We need all our players fit and ready to play. Osimhen is crying. Of course, it's a big loss for the team, just as my colleague has said, and it's also a big loss for us, but we hope that he'll be in action. He is an important player to the team, and we must find a solution. In his absence, the Nigeria international was a pivotal to Napoli winning success in last season. He scored a total of 26 goals in 32 league appearances. So far this campaign, Osimhen has scored 6 goals in 10 appearances. He is a player you can call at any time to put the ball at the back of the net, and he's always doing it in style. Across all competition for Napoli, the man has made no mistake in scoring, and the club is asking why and why. And for us here in Nigeria, we'll continue to pray that Victor Osimhen will be back in action for his dear fatherland. And the battleground is Ivory Coast. Talking about Ivory Coast national team, talking about the Elephants, have lined up 4 international friendlies, which will put the team in shape. The Ivorians are thinking that hosting at home soil will be host and win. They are in Group A alongside the Super Eagles of Nigeria and, of course, Guinea. Nigeria Super Eagles is doing everything to ensure they win this competition. And, of course, Didi Drogba will not be in action, but his prayers and hope will be for the elephant, just as we expect that the one we call Papilo also will be thinking for the Super Eagles of Nigeria as they go into the African Cup of Nations. Let's tell you that Manchester United is in this game this morning, and of course my man, of course, has been following the game with Manchester United.
Yeah, Manchester United will be without Casemiro, who picked up an injury on international duty with Brazil. It's quite unfortunate. He's one of their key players, and he's one of the senior players in the squad. They'll be missing him on the pitch. They'll be missing him also in the dressing room, because the players, they need his leadership. And it's a big one for Manchester United.
Manchester United have been struggling in the English Premier League. In fact, this season has not been a good season for them. Off the pitch, they seem not to be getting it right. In the pitch, they seem not to be getting it right. And injury has no sympathy with a team called Manchester United.
Yes, Manchester United, they have a long list of injury now with Casemiro joining. They had their new signing, Reguilon, who came in. He went on injury. The Ahmad went on injury. Casemiro has now joined the list. They brought in Moroccan Amrabat, who has also gone on injury. So they seem at the moment to be plagued with injuries. So I don't know how they can cope with it. Even their new signing, Mason Mount, he just came, he went to injury, but he's back now to the squad. So I think that should be a glitter of hope for them.
Let's hope that they will bounce back. Looking at the luck, it doesn't show that Manchester United has all the forces that will take them to the top of the ongoing English Premier League. And of course, my colleague did say that Mansur Moro will not be in action for Manchester United. Without this man, the team looks not too well to pick up. He picked up an ankle injury while playing for Brazil and was substituted 11 minutes from the end of the game. The game ended 1-1 draw with Venezuela last week, and they has remained in Brazil on the club's advice to aid the recovery, while he missed the visit to Bramili land in some of the matches that were decided. Our prayer is that some of these players who come back home in domestic assignment make it to domestic assignment and then bounce back in their play. The 31-year-old, who is the captain of the national team, asked to come off against Venezuela, and he was replaced by Andre Brazil, the manager. Ferdinando has added, said, I asked to come off due to a blow to his knee. And of course, we hope that he bounces back in action for his side and the club side. It's a pain one, not too good for the side, but of course, some of these players may not get it right. Arabat was absent for Morocco against Liberia, and of course against host African Cup of Nations, Ivory Coast. Let's take you to Newcastle, and of course Matthias has been following. He said, Newcastle, there is a Nigeria in action. Matthias, let's go here.
Newcastle United, they have been a huge club of recent with massive investment from Saudi Arabia. So you see they qualified for the Champions League last season, something they have not done since 2001. So there's a massive investment in the club. They are becoming a Premier League giant. And now they are interested in our own Victor Boniface, who has also hit the ground running in the Bundesliga, scoring 10 goals and providing 3 assists so far. So it's a good one. You want your players to play in the best league. You want to see Nigerians in the Premier League because it's the best league in the world. And now Newcastle is interested in our own Victor Boniface. So it's a deal I hope personally goes through so that he plays in the big leagues. And you like to see your player play in this kind of league. So it will be a good one for the national team also, because you have players playing in competitive leagues and you get to watch them, you get to assess them. I think it's a good one for the national team. So every Nigeria will be expecting the deal goes through, and he goes to Newcastle, who have a good project at the moment, and there seems to be a good side. They won PSG 4-1 in their Champions League game at home. So they are making a strong statement in Europe, and it will be a good place for Victor Boniface to develop his game.
Newcastle making it, and of course, Boniface, while in action for Nigeria in the friendly match against Saudi Arabia and of course in Portugal. The 22-year-old has been in Stavla for this season and has scored 9 goals as well as providing 3 assists in their 10 games for Bayern Leverkusen this season. The Nigeria joined the Bundesliga's outfit from Belgian Pro League club Union, of course, for a fee of 12 million this summer, and has been instrumental to the Serbia's Alexo's left side success in the Bundesliga's 2023-2024 season. And our prayer here is that Boniface will be in action, and when he comes back home in the country, it will be a moment for us to shine. Newcastle manager Eddie Howe is keen, of course, at tracking this player, and of course, my man says these players, when they are there, they'll be in shop. Let's tell you that Messiba is in the news, and of course, is the French minister who is talking this morning on Benzema. Matthias.
The French minister of Interior have accused Benzema of having an affiliation with an Islamist terrorist group over a post he made on social media concerning the Israeli-Palestine war. And Benzema's lawyer have come to refute that claim that Benzema made a post because of the affection he felt for the lives that have been wasted in the southeast. So he has come out to refute the claim, and the lawyer is threatening to press charges against the minister for making such claims, which I think is a very wide claim. It has no basis. You cannot